talk about in the beginning net play. For me, it's important when you have small kids always to start at the net, because it's easiest for the kid to see what's happening in front of them, and then they have to work in a lower position instead of starting at the rear court where they have to do something above their head. So I think it's easier for them to control. Also, the movements that would be more like the real thing that we use in a match, because we all know this situation. If we have a 6-year-old boy that stands like this and play, because that's the easiest way for him in the beginning. Maybe not be the best way, but it's the easiest way, because then he can see the shuttle in front of him. He has the racket, he can see the racket, then he can just look through the strings and do like this. So why shouldn't we do it like this? Because the aim is to hit the shot. It's not about winning in the beginning. But then you've got a bad habit, like standing like this. If I go to the net instead, I have a lot of opportunities to do it in a different kind of way. Because then I can make him do the right movements. So that's why I want to be at the net. And then I have 3 key points every time at the net, and it doesn't matter which kind of stroke it is. I always want the player to have a loose or relaxed grip, and that means that there should be space between the fingers, and and you have to hold the racket out in the fingers, not like this. You're not on a Chinese restaurant, but it should not be in the hand like this. Then it's too tense. So get it out. So you have make this kind of movement with your fingers and just put it in here. And then it's relaxed. Okay, there should be space here. That's one of the first things. In combination with the fingers, it's also important for me that you find some sort of neutral position with your hand. That means it should not be bended too much in any kind of way. Just have to find a neutral position. That means if it's neutral here, that my muscles in my underarm would be relaxed. If I have to make some sort of movement like this, then there will be some muscles who are trying to create some sort of tension. Okay. Then the key word for me is rotation with the arms. So here we create a lot of power. It's not every stroke that we need power, but it's important, especially when we're at the rear court, that we use rotations. But we can start to practice the rotation at the front court in the beginning. So that's the second keyword. The third keyword is our starting position, or what would you say that? Ausgangsposition. Yeah. So every time you move to the net, for me it's like, okay, go with the racket first and then the legs. So we have this position. And it doesn't matter if it's here in the forehand or it's in the backhand. But the left arm has to go back and the right arm has to go forward. So we have like doing the balance thing. I see a lot of players like doing like this, and then they're just staying and practice. Okay, why don't we go like this all the time? So my players, the young players I had in Greve, they were doing this. In the beginning it was not easy because it was tough for the left arm, shoulders and so on. But in the end, they just did it. Because that was one of the key points for me that I said every time. Then I have 3 strokes I practice with them a lot of time. It's the straight net drop, it's a cross net drop, and then it's a lift. And we just continue doing this like over and over and over again. Okay, so the first exercise would just be, it's not rocket science at any point with the throw. We're standing next to each other here on the same line, like this. You stand here, that's fine. You just throw an overhand throw like this. Okay, then I go to the left here. Yeah. Oh, just throw it. Yes. And do it like this. Short moves, nothing more here. Okay, that's it. When we have done that a lot of time, go to the next one, then it will be the lift. Okay, then we just try to do it like this. A loose grip, and then we work with the fingers. In the beginning, I think it's very difficult for the players to work with the fingers, especially if they're young. So I will start more like, okay, you just have to make the lift, and I want to make sure that you have the right grip. That's it. then we can always work with the fingers later on. Okay, so it will be more like this. You have to finish, and the racket has to point in the direction you want the shuttle to go. Okay, so it will be like this. And then we move on to do it shorter like this. After. Okay, the final shot will be the cross net drop. The starting position is still the same. Going to the net like this. More shots. Okay, and then I try here, like cross. Now I have a little bit of rotation on my underarm, and that's important as well. A little bit of yes. Go here. And when they have been introduced to these three kind of shots, I just try to combine it. Like, okay, now you have to combine the net drop and the cross every time. Okay, so I go like this, here first, here, and cross, here, and cross. And then the next exercise will be just lift and cross. Because then they have to be better at performing only one time. They have to make the right shot, the good shot, one time, then they have a new one. Instead of if you're getting the same shot every time, you start to get some sort of feeling that, okay, I'm working my way into this shot. And in the end, it'll be good. But if you're in a match, you don't get 15 chances. You get one chance. Okay? So that's actually the way I do it. Then we go to the front side and do the same. But I always start on the backing side. That works for me. Because I think that's actually the easiest shot. I think it's more difficult to do it here. So try and go on the court. Try to combine the exercises. Like, okay, I'll try to do it in different kind of ways. So it's not the same all the time. It could be combining straight net drop, cross net drop. That's it. Then next time try to do it in a different way. Okay? If you have any questions, it's important you ask, because if it could also be some technical stuff, it's fine. But for me, it's more like the way I try to practice, not the details of the techniques. Okay? Let's try 10 minutes.